Hello and welcome to Tim the Great Unboxers channel. Tim's got a wonderful young daughter now that's keeping him poor, so he hasn't had the money to spend on crap to unbox, so I said I'll do something that might be interesting to some people and I'll unbox it and he can stick it on his channel. So what I've got here on this record is a nondescript box, but inside is a Vevor Ultrasonic Record Cleaner. I think it's the cheapest in Australia. It's $242.99. Don't know where they come up with that pricing from. On the box, there's nothing to indicate that the brand name is Vevor, but it does say Ultrasonic Cleaner on it. And it's super cheap. So I thought I'd unbox this and then give it a crack, try to clean some records. And I've picked out two that I think are going to be a bit of a challenge for it. And then I'm going to do a listening test. I've got particularly this record, Hot August Night. I've got it on CD. I can stream it via Cambridge Audio CXN, and I've got the LP, so I can see which one's going to sound the best. And at the moment, this sounds far and away the worst. It's terrible, and hopefully this machine's going to make it worth listening to. And the second one, this is going to be a really big challenge. I've been buying a lot of records secondhand on eBay and Marketplace and so on. This one is Midnight Oil's Red Sails in the Sunset. It's in pristine condition, except it has minute particles of paint stuck to it, and I have tried everything to get the paint off. I've gone online and investigated all sorts of things, including some small bits of alcohol, toothpicks, everything. Cannot get it off. And this album, at the moment, in the condition it's in, I couldn't play it on the turntable. I wouldn't risk the stylus. But if it can get this one clean, then it's going to do a remarkable job. And I honestly do not hold much faith in it being able to clean this particular record, which is a shame because the cover and the record itself, apart from the paint splatter, is in perfect condition. And what I think has happened is somebody's put that on their turntable, left the lid open and painted their ceiling, and tiny bits of paint splatter have gone off on it. And they've obviously thought that was far enough away to be protected, but it wasn't. But I hate big preambles on YouTube, and I've already preambled too much. So I'm going to put a big green thumbs up if I think this machine is worth buying down here, and I'll give it a big red thumbs down if I think it's your typical Chinese junk. And it does say here, ultrasonic cleaner made in China. So let's. I'm not going to go down on the floor here to open it. I think it's going to be the easiest. So okay, so here we go. I'm going to unbox this sucker. Quite well sorted. This took, according to the advertising, this thing is delivered within 5 business days, and sure enough, I think I've got it in 4, so they're pretty true to their word. So we have the unit itself, which looks to be made of stainless steel, which is impressive. Well, so much for an unboxing. There's not much to it. This, which I believe will be the record holder. So once you've cleaned them in this, they give you a record holder to put your records up to allow them to dry. Now there's a motor that rotates the record, so I'm assuming that's inside here. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, so inside the unit itself, we've got a manual of sorts and a power cable. It's the miniature series Ultra Cleaner. And the first off the bat, it says it's good for jewellery. So I think this is a repurposed one for people that are, fixing up watches or jewellery, that sort of thing. And I think because of the popularity of records lately, they've sort of repurposed this one to be a record cleaner. Okay, and then it's got a diagram of how to set up the record cleaner. I'm going to give that a shot in a minute. I'm assuming this is the power adapter. Yes. What have we got here? 24 volt, 1 amp. Some discs. These obviously go on the spindle and cover up the paper label on your record, so that you don't get any, I assume, so that you don't get any water on your label. This will be the motor. What to do with the knife? Really well packaged. It's a fairly heavy motor. It seems quite well designed. Obviously sits on the side here. That bit at least is fairly impressive. This here would be for jewellery. So if you had a ring, you'd put your ring in there. Somehow this would, oh yeah, it's got a little clip that allows you to seal it. And then I'm assuming you dangle that over the side and clean your jewellery. Probably a waterproof watch, we didn't fit in there though. This here is the spindle. I've got no idea how to assemble this. Somehow it goes in the motor. Like so, okay. That doesn't look... Apparently you can do 4 records on this at a time, but I've read that doing one at a time is preferable. So that's it, that's the unboxing. At least on the machine itself, it's got this sticky label here, and it does say Vevor. Apparently it's a 6 litre capacity. Professional ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, well, there's nothing professional about me, but I'll give it a crack. I have read that something around between 20 and 30 degrees is the temperature you should set it for, and 15 minutes or above, depending on how dirty the record is. Anyway, I think it's time for me to set it up on the workbench, and let's see if we can get some records clean. Thank you. Okay, so now that I've unboxed the Vevor Ultrasonic Cleaner, the next step is to actually use it. So, as you would have seen, it comes with this motor, which has obviously got a spindle. I have tightened the screw. It sits here, I've plugged it in, and look, it's running now. My first observation is that this seems to be spinning very, very quickly, and I think the idea of an LP spinning around in an ultrasonic bath is that it should go quite slowly, and that seems way, way too quick. But anyway, it is what it is, so we'll persevere with that. So this is going to be my first inaugural record clean. So 3 ingredients you need to go and buy. This from Bunnings, because it'll be under $5, and that is demineralized water. I think they put it through steam or steamed water, so it gets rid of all the nutrients that you don't want in water. And I'm assuming that because this is a 6 litre ultrasonic cleaner, that I've got to put 6 litres in it. The other 2 ingredients I'm going to put in 25 ml of isopropyl alcohol and a wetting agent. In this case I'm going to use the Kodak Photo Flow 2000. About 2 or 3 drops is all I should need in that, and what that does is stop the drops from forming on the records. And I only know that because I've watched a few YouTube videos of how people are doing it, so I'm going to assume that that's what I've got to do. So I'm going to pour the water in. This is very entertaining, I'm sure. Whee. quite sure how much I've got to put in, so I shall pull out the record. As I mentioned earlier, this, out of the stream version, the CD version and this version sounds terrible in comparison. Yeah, okay. It needs a lot more to go in. So it's got a slightly indented line here, so I'm going to assume that that's where I should fill it up to. Let's give that another crack. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is put one disc on this side. I'm probably doing this wrong, but anyway. And I'm going to put these have got, I might need to pause the video here because these have actually got some sort of plastic protective stuff on them that obviously needs to be taken off before you use them. So I'll pause the tape for a moment and I'll get rid of this. It's a tight fit too. There's less than a fingernail gap between the two sides, but anyway, as it stands, as much as I treasure my LPs, I would not play this because the other versions, as I mentioned, the CD version, sounds better. So why would I bother with this? So 25 ml of the alcohol. Oh, and I only need 2 drips of this, and I don't have a dropper. Wish I did. So 2 tiny drops. Okay, 4 tiny drops. So I've just counted 5. Anyway, better to be safe than sorry. Okay, let's plug her in. Is that spinning? Yeah. See, my eyes are just going way too quickly. Okay, so now I'm going to come around this side and turn the sucker on. So we want to get a temperature of 20 degrees and we want to set the timer for 15 minutes. And I'm going to... Ooh. That is not a nice sound. Oh, but the water is cavitating. I guess that's the right word for it. I'm going to bring the camera over and show you what's going on. I'm going to disconnect it from Yeah, sorry for the unsteady picture. I'm holding the camera by hand now, but as you can see, the water is, well, yeah, I guess that's what it's meant to do. I still think that record's turning way, way, way too quickly. But the wife's saying no. But, I think now's a good time to pause, and we'll come back, and in the meantime I'm going to assemble the dryer and get it dry, and then we might give the Red Sails in the Sunset album a crack and see if it can get that paint off, which I very much doubt, but it's worth a shot. Okay, back soon. Okay, take two. I'm going to retake that. Where did I put the water?
Oh, the big container?
Making a complete utter mess of this, aren't I?
No.
This should be labelled how not to use an ultrasonic cleaner. For the clucks in your family. Do not do this. Not recommended.